This is Average Joe PT. Here we're all about reducing pain, reducing anxiety with education, and improving function with stuff that you can do in your own home instead of having to go into the gym. Today we're going to talk about the shoulder, and we're going to talk about the difference between a rotator cuff strain and a rotator cuff tear. Stay tuned. All right, now let's talk about a strain. 4 muscles that make up your rotator cuff are called your sits muscles: your supraspinatus, your infraspinatus, your teres minor, and your subscapularis. Essentially, it's 4 muscles that sit on either the inside or the outside of your shoulder, and they make up the back side of your shoulder itself. That is essentially those 4 main rotator cuff muscles. Essentially rotate your shoulder out, rotate your shoulder end, and give you a little bit of initiation with lift off of your shoulder. Now, the main muscle that gets strained is usually the supraspinatus. I have a little pen here that kind of shows the direction of that muscle. It sits in the back side of the shoulder, comes all the way over and attaches to the front. And that's the reason why sometimes you can get an ache down the side of your arm. Doesn't pass the elbow, but gets you like a toothache. Sometimes people say it feels like it's in the elbow. In reality, it's that main rotator cuff, your supraspinatus, that's running that pain all the way down the side of your arm and feeling almost like a toothache. So the strain is essentially something that's not torn, and obviously you can have 4 types of strains. That's where it gets kind of tricky. One is essentially what we all think of a strain. Then there's a type 2 strain, which is kind of give a little bit of a tear in the tendon, between the tendon and the muscle junction. And then there's a type 3 that you basically have a partial tear. And then 4 is an avulsion, where that tendon is just ripped right off the bone, usually through some sort of trauma, whether you fell on it or you got into a car accident or something like that. But those are the 2 types. Now there's all types of exercises you can do. I'm going to go over exercises when you initially hurt the shoulder, what you need to do to kind of rehab that shoulder at home. All right, exercise number 1 you're going to do is a dowel, and I'm going to show you in the next scene on the floor about using the dowel. All right, folks, we're going to keep it practical today. Exercise number 1, what you're going to do, now this is obviously a cleaner, a duster. I want you to take something that you can use at home, whether it's a broomstick. In this case, I'm using a dust mop. Or all I'm going to do is just loosen it up, take that piece off, and now I got what I really need. And what I need is a dowel. All right. This one's nice. I can extend it. Exercise number 1 you're going to do, this is basically after the 72 hours after you've iced it, is we're going to just use some range of motion exercises with this dowel. And so I'm going to show you that on the floor. Exercise number 1, like I said, all you're going to do is just bring it up with your knees bent and then come back down to your thighs right here. Now you might have to start with your elbows bent and kind of come in that direction if it's too hard on your shoulders, and then come down, relax. That's a simple one. I want you to try 15, 20. Come to the point where you're not getting any pain, just a little bit of a stretch, hold for a second, and then come back down and relax. That's exercise number 1. Exercise number 2, your hand is like this with one side and with the opposite like that. So we got your thumb out. So let's say it's the right shoulder. You're just going to come up and out to the side and then come down and relax. Rinse and repeat. Come up to the side and come down and relax. Now the last one you're going to do is you're going to take another pillow and you're going to put it right at the elbow. I'm going to move it to the side so you can see it a little bit, but your elbow is going to be supported with your elbow bent. You're just going to rotate out and rotate it. Now you might only get to right about to here, and it's like, ooh, that's too much. So you can back off a little bit. You can hold for about 3-4 seconds, and then come back and relax to your ribs, and then rinse and repeat. All right. So without the pillow, it looks something like this. Rotate out, hold, and then relax. You're doing each one of those exercises a good 15-20 reps, and you're doing them a couple times a day. That's going to reduce your risk of a frozen shoulder. and hopefully start to get the mechanics of your shoulder moving a little bit correctly before we go on to the strengthening exercises with the rubber band next. So let's go ahead and start the rubber band exercises. Now I'm going to show you some exercises you can do with the resistance band. Now I'm also going to leave a tag up here on the top, so some other types of shoulder issues that you might have, maybe post-surgical or maybe another type of tear, I could go into detail with another video, so I'll leave a tag up there and you can go click on that after this video is over. But to give you a decent idea with just some basic resistance band or without the band, we're going to just go over the movements. And so all you're going to do is start out with your arms extended, and you're just going to pull the band apart and then relax. Pull the band apart and relax with your elbows extended. Next one you're going to do is elbows by your side, elbows stay locked in, and pull the band apart. And pull the band apart. Now you might even want to take magic towel that I always bring with me and sit back so you're up nice and tall when you do this. And you can do it that way too. Elbows in, alright, or the elbows out. Next one you can do is just punch straight up. And then alternate and punch straight up. The next one you can do is just punch straight out at you. Almost like I'm in 3D a little bit. 15-20 reps of those. Now they shouldn't hurt. You might feel a little bit of fatigue, but you always want to make sure you're up nice and tall as you're doing these exercises. You don't want to be slumped down in. You could cause more shoulder issues. But that's some basic resistance exercises that you can do at home. Or you can just do the movements. Just getting those shoulder blades to pinch together as you're doing it, or the same thing. Now you could do it with some soup cans. There's another video I have in there that goes over either dumbbell weights or soup cans that you can do instead of some resistance bands at home to do that, to get your strength a little bit in that regard. So we have the range of motion exercises, some icing, some rubber band exercises that you can do after that 72-hour inflammation is calmed down from straining your shoulder. So leave some comments down below. Love to hear the comments. I'm probably going to do a few more shoulder videos depending on what you guys want to see. Also, love to have you subscribe if you like the content. Love to see it. But until next time, I want you to look up and keep smiling.